Hello, loves, it's Amy. I'm back with you again to talk about the evening time and how to manage and balance yourself at this time and how to stay connected to yourself and your children. So back in the day when I was little, when my dad came home, it was expected that he was going to go change his clothes, make a drink, and have his time to relax, and that my parents were going to have their time first. And they were going to talk. And then after that, we got to have some time with our dad. I remember that being almost like a Christmas morning feeling. Like I was really, really, really anxious to be with my dad. And we almost like waited. And it was like waiting on the stairs to get told you can come down for, Christmas morning. And so these days, oftentimes that's not the expected routine. I think that both parents are very involved in their children's care and in pickup times and things like that. And so both people have had full days. Even if you're a stay-at-home parent, you haven't maybe gotten out of the house, but when your partner comes home, you really want to have the break, right? You want to have the help. And if both of you have been working all day and you come together at the end of the day, there's dinner to prepare, there's all the chores and stuff to get ready for the next day, and the kids want to have time with you. And, that can be a challenging time in a kid's life. It's like they've been all over the place, they're home. So everybody's kind of in there, working with their own nervous systems, consciously or unconsciously, trying to regulate, trying to decompress from the day. And if you think from an energetic perspective, you've been in and around a lot of different energies through the day. And you may not realize it, but that can be like clouds in your auric field. And so this evening meditation or offering, what I'd like to offer is to bring the awareness that whatever that moment is before you walk through the door or before you walk through the daycare to collect your kid or the school, that a pause, it takes a very short amount of time to take 3 breaths, but to be willing to utilize that awareness, that moment before you rejoin your family, that you can imagine yourself grounded to the center of the earth. How I like to imagine that. Now, the first time I learned about grounding, I was in a class and the woman said, she relaxed us and we were breathing and our feet were on the ground. And she said, imagine that you're grounded from your first chakra to the center of the earth. And she said, it could be daisy chains. And what I realized, the image that came up for me was I was cranking down this giant steel cable, and I was like, ooh, okay. So I get it. I've balanced lots of stuff, and I was just waking up to these tools when my 3rd child was born. And so I'm so grateful I did wake up to it, and I'm really interested in sharing them with you because it really gave me like an edge into how to manage my own feelings as best as I could, how to stay middle path or to stay as composed. Composure is a word of somebody, composure is a word that I think speaks to not keeping your shit together necessarily, but really being willing to take command of your systems, of your energy, of your demeanor. And so to do that, to bring that presence of mind in before you engage in the fray with your family can really do wonders for how the rest of the evening goes. And so when you are in your car or, walking up the walk, to have the presence of mind to say, I am grounded from my first chakra to the center of the earth. Wiggle your toes in your shoes. Experience that profound quiet that one moment can illuminate for us. Connect with your heart. And another thing to consider is if there's something that's been hurting you that day or something that's bothered you or a problem that hasn't been solved, to talk to yourself. I will make time for this, to feel this later, to work on this later. After I put the kids to bed, I'm going to get into the bathtub and I'm going to have that time to work with these things inside of me. But for right now, I am present. I am present right here, right now. I am grounded. I am loved and supported. All is well with my soul. Excellent. So to be willing to trust in the goodness of being in the present moment, of being as present and available as you can to your children, to yourself, and to recognize that the energy of connection, the energy of present moment availability really is like setting the table, laying out the tablecloth. It's like, I am here. And there's times when we do have urgency and there's something that really needs to be addressed in the moment, and that's okay too. And there's conversation that can be had. And so that being an honoring and respectful way to work with each other, with your children, with your partner. And on that note, I wanted to talk about when a kid bumps their leg or hurts themselves and they're crying, and the adult tending them says, "You're okay, you're okay, you're okay." And they don't feel okay. They don't feel like they're okay. They don't feel safe in that moment. They might feel scared. And how that's the gateway to us starting to ignore our feelings. Like, oh, I must be wrong. I feel like I'm hurting, but this adult who's in charge of me, who I trust completely, who I basically view as God today, is telling me I'm okay. And that controversy that can come into the emotions being honored. And so it's like, well, so what's another way? So another way is to just validate. Ouch, ouch, I bet that hurt. Let's take a breath together. Do you need a hug? Oftentimes kids love a Band-Aid, whether they need it or not, but to just spend the moment validating. Ouch, I bet that hurt. Can I help you up? Let's get back and play. It doesn't have to be time consuming to not be okay. It just requires presence. It requires that attention in that moment. And when you're present, it feels like longer time. To the kids, they're just looking to be filled up. They're not time oriented. They just want that connection, and then boom, they're okay. They just had a moment. They have the freedom to cry and express how they really feel. And it's beautiful, and it doesn't have to last. But we as adults, we have believed that, like, I'm okay, when I'm not okay. And that's how we end up with depression and many, many, many other afflictions, because our emotions then, how anything we deny gets stored somewhere in our body. Any energy that isn't let to flow, that gets pushed down, ignored, hidden, stuffed. These are all words that mean it's going somewhere. Energy can change and transmute, but it never goes away. So when there is something that comes up, to just really validate it. Ouch. That's it. That's easy, right? Ouch. I bet that hurt. Let me rub it. It's not your job always to fix everything, but to just be present to what's occurring, what's happening. Be their witness. Be their witness in their lives. And that is how that heart relationship is going to grow, how the trust grows, how the inner trust grows in a person, and how the trust in the relationship grows. I am so grateful for you. I'm grateful for your attention and your intention mostly. So until next time, take your breath, consider your grounding, connect with your own heart. All right, take care now. Bye, loves.